Hi guys, welcome to a new writing tips thing. Yeah. So writing tips. Alright. So I did a lot on like how to write and stuff like that, but I never really talked much about editing. And there are some really important things that I could talk about with editing. So one of the things that you start out with editing is you want to do several different sweeps. First one you want to do, generally sweeps are like you read your writing. You read your writing, you make notes, you find out what's good, what's bad, just make little notes on it and stuff like that. And you don't change it necessarily then, but you make notes. And then you later on change it. First one you want to always do is a big picture sweep. It's just generally overall your story stays consistent, blah, blah, blah. It's stuff that everyone already knows. But then you want to kind of like do another sweep of it and really check if the plot is going along and the flow and the pacing of everything is going along the way you want it to. If the flow isn't right, if it's too hurried in spots or it goes away from the plot, it's generally not a good idea to have that as a portion of your story. And it takes away from the story itself. So you want to avoid that. Generally after that, you want to look at character development. Is the character developing right? You want characters to evolve, especially the main characters, throughout the story. It's common sense, but it's like, what do you want to see happening with your characters in this story? Do you want to see them turn bitter from the events happening, or do you want to see them turn positive from him? Just keep that in mind when you're writing. I'll go in more detail later on about this, but this is just general talking about it. You want to do the next sweep you want to do is a dialogue sweep. You want to look at everyone's dialogue, make sure it's okay, make sure it sounds realistic. A lot of times when you're writing dialogue, because when you write something, you generally aren't looking for that. And you'll find that your dialogue isn't realistic. It gets the point across that you want to for your plot, but it doesn't really necessarily count towards the overall realness. And it can really separate somebody from the realness of the story. Your dialogue needs to have groundedness, you know? So you should try to avoid that. But once again, that's why you do editing and sweeps. Another one is the setting sweep, the description sweep, the atmosphere sweep. You know, make those sweeps on your editing process. It becomes really clear where you have problems. Then after that, you want to fix the grammar. The stuff that people normally think of what editors do is they fix grammar and mechanics and style. That's really after you finish the story parts of your writing. Yeah. So after you did all that, you want to do a consistency. You know, make sure it's all consistent, continuity. Make sure the two chapters fit together. The reason why you want to do that last is because you may decide that you want to write more, and you put that kind of in between the two chapters. So there's not. It's a way to avoid having to work more than what you actually have to work. You've already done cuts and stuff like that, so you're doing cuts. Well, actually, you can do cuts in that section too, and really, cuts are kind of good, you know. But you want to do that type of sweep before too. You want to do it much earlier when you first do it, but you want to do that after, and then after you're pretty golden as far as you know, sweeps go. You might want to do. A lot of people suggest this too, is a sensitivity and inclusivity sweep. I myself don't adhere to that. I don't care if anyone's offended by my writing. But if you are one of those people that do care about that, you might want to consider doing that as well. It helps make sure that your writing doesn't offend anyone. Once again, mine's horror fiction. I'm not really concerned about that type of stuff. If you're writing other types of fiction, you may want to, especially offense might be from, you might be a child fiction writer, and you're gearing it towards children. You might have something that's a little too adult. Maybe you don't want that kissing scene to be in there. Maybe you do. It's up to you. And then you have a finality sweep, where what you normally do with a finality sweep is you look at the document, what you have, and you finalize, okay, this is what I want. And then what you do is you send it to beta readers or an actual editor. I still suggest that everyone uses real editors, people that you pay to edit your story. If you don't have money, it's perfectly fine not to, but it does improve the quality of your writing, and it improves the you catch things that you don't catch. So at the very least, use beta readers. Your beta readers will be able to tell you, and use different qualities of beta readers. You want the low IQ people, and I say that not in an offensive way. I just mean people that don't necessarily have the same understandings as you, the lower end of the spectrum, and then you want the high end of the spectrum, because you want to have a plethora of insights, a diversity of views on your writing, and that way you can make an educated decision as to what you want to change. Because some people that have lower IQ may not understand what you're writing. They might not get that, and you want to cater to that somewhat, to make sure that your writing's not too advanced. And because the average, I do believe the average American reads at a 4th grade level. I'm not sure, but I do believe it's the average that to read at a 4th grade level. So a large portion of your audience can't read really well, but they may like to read. And so avoid having too high of reading. We all can write at a college level, I'm sure. If you're watching my videos, you're a pretty prolific person as far as your writing goes. But you want to make sure that you're at a lower level, which is, it's difficult, but you got to realize the general audience does not know what erudite means, and if they don't even know what that means, then how are you going to expect it to resonate with people when you use such words inside your fiction? So just avoid it and make sure that, it's all there, Anyways, oh yeah, and also, when you're writing your first draft, it's your first draft for a first draft reason. Don't edit while you're writing. When you're writing your first draft, just write. Write until you're done. I've said it a million times, but it needs to be said again, because people tend to forget what that means. So, yeah. Hope you guys liked it, and this is my tip for right now, for the day. So, yeah, if you could like, subscribe, and favorite, I would appreciate that. And over and out. Goodbye.